Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel techCodio. My name is Bharat Kumar. So guys, coming to the Python course, since we have done up to the part number 8 only, but I'm going to add part number 9. In the part number 9, I'm going to teach only the advanced Python. So these are the concepts that I'm going to teach in this part number 9, right? So in today's video, we are going to begin with the first concept in this part number 9, decorators in Python. Now let's see the agenda, what we have for today's video. Firstly, I'm going to teach what is decorator. Then creating function. After that, creating decorator for that function. I hope the agenda is clear. Now let's see what is a decorator. Decorators are a very powerful and useful tool in Python since it allows programmers to modify the behavior of a function or a class. For example, assume this restaurant. It's a plain restaurant, but here we are adding some decorations. Right? It is known as the decorators. But the plain restaurant, the restaurant without any decorations, it is known as function. But we are adding some decorations to this function. Decorators allows us to wrap another function in order to extend the behavior of the wrapped function without permanently modifying it. See here we have the normal restaurant without any decoration. It is known as function. But here we are adding some decoration to this restaurant. So it is known as decorators, but without permanently modifying it. For example, after 1 year, you want to change the restaurant decorations so that you can change it. We are not permanently modifying it. We are just adding some decorations. Like that, in Python, we have a function. We are just modifying the function functionality. It is a concept of decorator. I hope it is making some sense. So guys, now let's understand this concept by a story. See here, once upon a time, in the city of India, there was a magical bakery owned by Bharat. For example, assume that it is a bakery owned by Bharat. This bakery was famous for its enchanted cookies, which had the power to grant wishes. But Bharat had a secret. He used special magic spells known as decorators to add these enchantments to his bakery goods. Assume that it is a bakery owned by Bharat. It is famous because of its enchanted cookies, which had the power to grant wishes. For example, if you want to wish anyone with the bakery foods, we can give them this bakery food. But he had a secret that is called special magic spells known as decorators. For example, in this bakery, you know some recipes, so that he is making some food items with that recipe. The recipe is called special magic spells, right? So now let's move forward. The basics. What is a decorator? Related to this story. A decorator in Python is like a Bharat's magic spell. It's a special function that can modify the behavior of other functions or methods. Think of it as a way to add a little extra magic to an already wonderful recipe. For example, in his restaurant, he has some cakes. He is adding some extra recipes to his cakes so that he can sell more cakes to the people. It is known as decorators. So guys, now let's see the chapter number 1. So guys, let's move forward. Chapter number 1, the plain cookie. Let me change this name. One day, a young helper named Joe joined the bakery. He was excited to learn how to bake and use magic. Bharat decided to start with an easy cookie recipe. So it is a chapter number 1. The boy Joe joined the bakery. He was excited to learn how to bake and use magic. So Bharat decided to start with an easy recipe to explain him, the Joe, right? For this chapter number 1, let's write a function def make cookie. In this function, I just want to print making the plain cookie. Let's call this function make cookie. Yeah. 1 second. Yeah, you can see for this chapter 1, it is done. Make cookie. For this easy recipe, for this chapter number 1, we have created this function make cookie. It is going to print making the plain cookie. It is a function for this chapter number 1. Now we have the chapter number 2, the magic spell decorator. See guys, in this plain cookie, we have only the plain function. In this function, we are printing only this message. Now let's try to add some more functionality to this function. Chapter number 2. Bharat showed Joe a magic spell called add magic that could be used to enhance the cookie with a wish granting power. For example, it is one function, right? But Bharat showed Joe another function. Assume that this function is known as the decorator for that function, right? So now let's create this function, def add magic. So for this function, I'm going to pass function. In this function, I'm going to create one more function, wrapper. Let's print one message, sprinkling the magic dust. I'm just calling this variable. Let me make you understand after this chapter 2 why I'm calling this function here. The cookie is now enchanted. So for this add function, I'm just returning this function, wrapper. See guys, for this decorator function, I'm just passing one variable. After that, in this function, I'm creating one more function, wrapper. In this wrapper, I'm printing one message, sprinkling the magic dust. Because we have the plain cookie, assume that the plain cookie we have plain cake. For this plain cake, we're adding some magic, and also we're printing one message. The cookie is now enchanted. That means the cake is now modified. Adding extra magic to the plain cake. Added extra magic. So when I call this function, I'm just returning this wrapper function. So guys, see here, this add magic function is a decorator for this plain function. Then it takes another function known as func. It is the shortcut for this function and returns a new function, wrapper, that adds some extra steps before and after original function is called. So for this function, we are calling this function. So it is going to print this, sprinkling the magic dust, and then it is calling this function. This function is known as this one, making the plain cookie. After that, the cookie is now enchanted. In the chapter number 3, we are just implementing the concept of decorators. Chapter number 3 is known as applying the spell. See here, to use the magic spell, Joe had to apply the decorator to the make function to make cookie, because it is a normal function. So we need to apply decorator, right? So we are going to apply this decorator to this function in this chapter number 3. Let me copy this function. So before that, I need to make this function here, add magic. Then it is happening. See guys, here I added one magic to this function. The magic means in this magic function, first we are printing this one, sprinkling the magic dust, and then we are calling one function, because here we define this function with @. So this func is known as this. So when we write function after this add magic, so it is going to take this function as a parameter to this function. So when we are calling this function, original function, it is going to execute this function only. In this function, it is printing this. After that, we are calling this function. This function means this one, making the plain cookie. After that, we are printing one more message. The cookie is now enchanted, right? So let's understand what we have done till now. We have the plain function, but we are not modifying this function, but we are adding magic to this function. See, it is a magic because we are not disturbing the original function. We are just adding the functionalities to this function. See here, to modify the behavior of a function, but without permanently modifying it. See, the plain function is the same here also, but just adding the magic. That's it. In the coming videos, we are going to complete this part number 9. Right after this part number 9, I'm going to give the free BTech minor projects in this channel. It is going to start from the July, right? So guys, bye for now. See you in the next video with the next advanced Python concept, and also add some comments to this video. So bye for now. See you in the next video.